everyone to Techies 15 Live. This is our virtual water cooler moment, we like to call it, at Immigrant Techies Network. It's our way of keeping in touch with the community and inviting people that are building things, that are solving problems, and just having conversation, staying in touch with each other. So today, our cool person is Paisley Churchill, the Executive Director of Calgary Innovation Coalition. Welcome, Paisley.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I didn't call you Paige this time, so
I'll respond to anything with a P, really.
right. Yeah, Paisley, I know you have been in the innovation ecosystem in Calgary for quite a bit. If you could just tell us a little bit about what your journey has been like and what transformation you have seen in Calgary over the past decade or so.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in the tech and innovation ecosystem in Calgary for 10 years now. And my first job out of university was actually with a few startups before I moved over to Calgary Economic Development. And it was such a unique time to join Calgary Economic Development because that was really when we were starting to see the tech boom happen, starting to really get that understanding that there were tech companies in Calgary. And that was a huge part of our work at that point, was letting people know all the amazing things happening in Calgary. So it was really cool to kind of be there in 2018 when a lot of that messaging was really getting out there, and we had Startup Calgary, and you're really starting to see a lot of the momentum. And then I kind of drank the Kool-Aid, and I was like, wow, I want one of these fancy tech jobs everyone's talking about. So I moved over into custom software development and helped a ton of companies bring their products to life, worked with tons of entrepreneurs and established companies, and really got to understand the tech ecosystem from the lens of what it's like to actually be building the software. And then from there, I've just kind of been in the ecosystem for a bit. So it's amazing to be at the Calgary Innovation Coalition, which is really a consortium of the entire tech and innovation ecosystem in Calgary and surrounding area. So it's really exciting to see how things have come from the 2017, 2018, when there was this perception that Calgary was really just energy, to now when we've just have this super robust tech ecosystem.
Awesome. What are you most excited about in your new role and for Calgary as a whole?
I am so excited for the sheer number of people that are coming into on-ramps in the ecosystem. We have 95 members, and so many of them are working with that idea stage of company. And it's just cool to see people realizing that I can start a tech company, I can build a product, I can be an entrepreneur. And so just the sheer number of inquiries that we're getting kind of at platform to advisors to other in-ramps into the community like accelerators and through the regional innovation networks. We're just seeing so many more people thinking it's a viable option to be part of the tech community.
Mm-hmm. And I know that we are a member of Calgary Innovation Coalition, so there's so many support organizations. And so if an entrepreneur were to approach Calgary Innovation Coalition, what should they expect? How will they be guided?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work primarily with our members, which are the organizations, because we don't want to duplicate the programming that's already happening in the ecosystem. So our role primarily with entrepreneurs is to help them understand what all of our members are doing. So we are really that guide. We help to wayfind. We work very closely with the team at Platform, with other navigators at other organizations to ensure that they have up-to-date information. And that's something coming into this role was really important for me to work on, was to ensure that entrepreneurs knew where to go for what. So our role at the CIC is really to be that entry point and say, hey, this is what the 95 members are doing, and shine a light on that work.
So you rather entrepreneurs go directly to the partners? Like
No,
you don't do
yeah,
you want entrepreneurs to approach you directly, or is that not the preferred
they absolutely
engagement?
can. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when I get a notification or an inquiry, they'll give a little bit of information. So if they're working in energy, we might connect them to our
Mm-hmm.
partners, our members at Foresight. If they're diverse founders or they're really early stage, we might direct them to Business Link. So they can absolutely approach the Calgary Innovation Coalition. But our role really is to say this is all what's out there. So they can message me directly, and I can put them in touch with
Mm-hmm.
the the ecosystem partner that I think is most applicable to them. They can also check out our member list on the website and kind of see what's out there. And we're working on refreshing some of that. So it's a little bit easier to navigate so that they're able to self-serve some of that.
Awesome, awesome. So we, as you know, we have a lot of immigrant professionals in our network, and the job market has been tough lately. And there are people that question why they moved. They're wondering if they should move back or if they should go elsewhere in Canada. So what do you say? Why Calgary? Why stay in Calgary?
Wow, hitting me with the really hard questions here. Well, if I throw back to my Calgary economic development days, we have 330 average days of sun a year. Like I can give you a whole sales pitch on why
Right.
Calgary, but no, directly to the ecosystem. There is such a vibrant and supportive ecosystem here. We hear it all the time. Last week was Mesh Conference, and the people coming in from out of town are just always blown away by what is here. So I recognize it is a tough job market out there, but I think there still is opportunity to get involved, to network. I think a lot of people might have the perception that, oh, networking doesn't work. I went to a few events and I didn't get a job, but it's a longer term relationship building.
Mhm.
It's going to these events if possible. If you're in a survival job and it's kind of hard, there's other ways to get involved. The tech community has events in the evenings, the weekends. Startup weekend is this weekend. I think there's lots of on-ramps to really get involved. And I think that's often some of the best opportunities to get in with a startup or maybe a contract position and try to get your foot into the door of the ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have all this the burgeoning innovation happening in every sector.
Every
Aerospace,
sector.
quantum, lots of cool stuff actually happening in our backyard.
Yeah, and it's really apparent when you look at Calgary Economic Development's new strategy and how they've defined that innovation pillar and the sectors that they've called out, and the
Mm.
replenishment of the
Mhm.
Opportunity Calgary Investment Fund, which has created thousands of jobs since it was incepted. So we see some of those things being spurred and know that hopefully there's better times ahead with some of those new investments. The goal is to create more jobs, high-paying jobs, tech jobs in the city. So I'm really excited to see kind of what that rollout of that replenished OSIF fund looks like.
And what kind of support exists for very early stage, idea stage entrepreneurs? Because that's the toughest space to find support in. And
Yes.
I don't know if Calgary Innovation Coalition has anything specifically for those very early stage.
Yeah, absolutely. So Calgary Innovation Coalition funds a number of other organizations, or we work with a number of other organizations to fill gaps in the ecosystem. So Calgary Innovation Coalition supports Platform as one of the on-ramps into the ecosystem in some of their programs like Startup 101 and Discover, so that you can really understand those very basic concepts of defining your value proposition and the problem you're trying to solve. I think that's a step actually that a lot of early stage entrepreneurs skip. They get straight to, this is why I need to build this, and they
Yeah.
actually haven't really defined.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't tell somebody what you're doing in 2 sentences, you haven't really nailed down your value proposition. And so great programs like Startup 101 and Discover help you to synthesize that. And that really is the first step. I think when people are thinking early stage, they're not really sure what that means. And really finding that product market fit, problem
Mm-hmm.
solution fit is the first step. So programs like that are excellent. You can also go to Business Link. They have a number of resources for starting businesses. There's also the micro voucher program at Alberta Innovates is a great tool to build a prototype. That one does require you already have kind of problem and
Mm-hmm.
solution defined. So that's why we kind of like to point to some of those other programs like Business Link and advisors that can help you at those very early stages.
Mm-hmm. And we also partner with early stage founders at that stage, where we can help them build a simple prototype, which they can then take to Alberta Innovates to show that they've got some traction and all of that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's I like this circular ecosystem that we have in Calgary. There's always someone in the gap somewhere, and if it doesn't exist yet, we know that somebody is gonna step in and fill it. I love that energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think as CIC continues to grow and evolve, we definitely want to hear what people are seeing as the gaps in the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it is just awareness. Sometimes I've heard, oh, this is a huge gap. We're going to start this programming. And it's like, wait, did you know that this organization's actually doing it? But some organizations are, a lot of nonprofits, they're so busy, they don't often have time to shout from the rooftops all the great work that we're doing. And that's really where I'm starting to see CIC's role evolving is let us shine a light on all the great things. And so I think you'll see some exciting changes over the next couple months to our website and how you're able to understand what's out there in Calgary. We want to make that easier for people to understand. As much as I would love to have 40 calls a week with early stage founders, I'm hoping that we can, as CIC,
Right.
really be the organization that creates the systems and the tools in
Mm.
place so that that we can support the other members in helping them pathfind and things like that. But that
Yeah,
being said,
that's so needed because we don't want to be reinventing the wheels when there are other problems that still need solutions, right? That we can really
exactly.
put the efforts into. Hmm. So I think lastly, I'm trying to see. I don't see any questions. I'm not seeing LinkedIn directly, but I don't see any question in the messaging here. Okay. So from a career perspective, what would you if you were to advise the fresh out of school Paisley, what would you say? What would you do differently, if
Ooh,
anything?
for myself or for people
Yeah.
graduating now?
No, like what do you wish you knew then?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew that anybody could be technical, and I wish that I took a leap into understand. Well, it was a very different time. So I do wish I got a little bit of a leap into tech a little bit earlier, understanding that it's not as scary as it seems. And there's so many different, like you've mentioned, there's aerospace, there's healthcare, there's energy, and all of those adopt tech now. So I think just, understanding tech terms and understanding how you can fit into this tech ecosystem is really valuable. And I just wish I had that mindset a little bit earlier so that,
What did you study in school?
I studied business and nonprofit management. And so
Mm.
tech felt really out of my wheelhouse. And so I wish I kind of just realized that it wasn't as scary and maybe I would have gotten in with a
Right.
tech company earlier or, I think that there's just so many opportunities there.
That's cool. That's cool. Any other thing that I have not asked that you would like to say?
Um,
Usually, when I invite people, I know they do have something in mind, and then I take them the other direction. So I just want to give that opportunity. If there was something you would like to say that I have not steered you towards.
No, you did a great job. I guess I'll just reiterate that the CIC is really a group of 95 members. I am not the CIC. There's no group that is the CIC. Everyone is the CIC. Like we are the Calgary Innovation Coalition. So that is 95 plus members across the Calgary innovation ecosystem and in surrounding communities. So really encourage you to get out to our member meetings. We'll have, if you're from an organization, and then in June, we'll actually have a member meeting where we'll be inviting entrepreneurs to come to as well so they can meet some of the other organizations. So I think that will be really great. And I just really encourage all organizations to really get involved in those monthly meetings. And if you're an entrepreneur innovator, to follow us along on LinkedIn. And that's where you'll really start to see a lot of how we're highlighting all of our members and the different pathways to getting into the ecosystem and getting support for
Mhm.
your venture.
Yeah, and inventions is coming.
Yes. Yeah. Inventors is coming up. So
Hmm.
that will be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. And if people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to stay connected?
You can absolutely reach out to me on LinkedIn. My email address is paisley.churchill at Calgary Innovation Coalition.ca. A little bit
So
of a
very
long one
long.
there, but feel free to reach out. And
Uh-huh.
if I don't have capacity to meet with you this week or next week, I can always point you in the direction of a partner that I think would be really
Mhm.
helpful and try to ensure that you have the best connection into the ecosystem.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Paisley. Thanks for coming. Thanks for giving us 15 minutes of your lunch hour. And for everyone that's watching now or will watch later, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.